Hello everybody, Wyduck here again, this time with a set of replays from the GO4SC2 Cup number 310. And here on Bel Shir Vestige, you've got spawning in the top left as the green Zerg. We've got representing Mouse Sports, we have Hope. And Hope's opponent spawning in the bottom right, a very accomplished Korean player spawning as the blue Zerg, representing Team Quantic. We've got Hyun. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup here on Bel Shir Vestige. And this edition of Bel Shir Vestige is a little bit whiter than usual than the previous versions that were much more green. But what's going to be most interesting is who is going to deviate in this mirror match. Whenever you have mirror matches, especially ZVZ, it's whoever is going to be doing something different. That's what I want to see first. So is someone going to go for hatchery first, or is someone going to go for spawning pool first? Hope is going for spawning pool first, and there, the first deviation, Hyun looks like he's going to be going for hatchery first at his natural. So both players immediately opening up with different openers. Because I find that in the mirror matches, of all the mirror matches, I think PvP is the most dynamic. There's just so many different build strategies, build orders, army compositions. I find that ZVZ is generally the one that is most similar. Generally, you just see lots of Zerglings hitting back at each other, then they both go for Banelings, and then maybe a whole bunch of Roaches. And before, the Spore Crawlers did significantly more damage to biological air units. It was just basically all Mutalisk in a lot of games. So it was like that in Starcraft Brood War as well, where Zerg versus Zerg was not that dynamic. It was very similar in nearly all the games. So I find that ZVZ in Starcraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, is still a little bit like that, but it is a lot better than in Starcraft Brood War, and it's a lot better than in Wings of Liberty as well. So all the mirror matches now are a lot better than they were before. That I will grant. Now, Hyun is going to be mining from his natural, and both players are building queens as well. Nothing different here. Hope does have the extractor up, so it looks like he might be going for early lair, but probably early Zergling speed. Get that map control. And Hyun does not have an extractor up yet, so he's going to be a little bit behind in regards to map control. There we go. Zergling speed is on the way for Hope, and that's going to be a big advantage if he's going to be building a lot of Zerglings in the near future. Like I said, Hyun still doesn't have an extractor up. So if Hope goes really hardcore into Zerglings, he can grab a substantial advantage. And neither player is really going to be doing anything in the near future, it looks like. They're just trying to stabilize both on two bases, trying to get their mineral and drone count up. But we do have a Baneling's nest coming in from Hope. And is this what's... I think this might help in cracking Hyun's defenses. The lackluster defenses that Hyun has. In fact, it's more like defenses he doesn't have. All we have here is basically a whole bunch of queens. And queens are very good against Banelings. They don't take additional damage from Baneling hits. So Hyun should be able to defend this, but he's gonna have to spot this first. If he doesn't spot the Baneling's nest, then I don't see any real scouting from Hyun. Hope hasn't really scouted Hyun either. But the one advantage that I think Hyun has over Hope here is... Oh, no. Hope's going to be able to get in here. It looks like Hope is going to be able to spot everything with his lone Zergling. And remember, because of Zergling speed, running on that creep gives that Zergling a lot of additional advantages. So Hope is going to be able to see a lot of what's going on in Hyun's base. Now, Hyun does have 4 extractors up. And Hope only has 1 currently. He's getting a few more, but looks like Hyun is going to be transferring over to roaches, and he's got a really strong block off here. So even with banelings, I don't think Hope will be able to get in here. Hyun also has better creep spread than Hope. So it looks like Hyun's going to be in a very strong position. He's already up by 14 supply. He's actually supply block currently. But Hope is going for his third. Now this is a little bit dangerous because Hyun's Overlord is already in position, able to see it the entire time it's constructing. So it's going to be up to Hope to defend this third base, and I think the problem for Hope now is even though he's going to be getting his third base, he's still behind in supply, and his natural is not really blocked off that well. So if there is an attack at the natural or at the third, it will be difficult for Hope to defend both flanks. Now fortunately for Hope, there aren't big armies for either players, but as time goes on, that is going to change. Now, Hyun is going to be countering with a third of his own, as that Overlord does pop. But like I said before, Hyun's creep spread is a little bit better than Hope's, so he's going to have a lot of an advantage. He's going to have more of an advantage going across the map to his opponent's base than vice versa. As both players are steadying their armies with more and more roaches, and we've got 7 roaches coming from Hyun. And that's a lot of roaches compared to what Hope has. Now, Hope does have 8 on his way, and that should equalize the roach count. So it might be up to who can macro better with these horde of roaches against each other. So both players are going to be settling on roaches. Neither player is going to be going for Hydralisks, it looks like. And Hydralisks do give it a significant DPS advantage. You just have to put them in the back. But neither player is committing to that. They're just going to be committing, it looks like, full-on roaches. Now, Hyun does have a slight supply advantage, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to win any confrontation. But it looks like Hope is going to be the aggressor here. He's sending his roaches across the map. He's got 25 to Hyun's 27. And here we go. We got a big collision of roaches in the middle of the map. But you have to remember, it looks like Hyun... Oh my gosh, Hyun is melting all the roaches of Hope, and now Hope is in full retreat. His roaches did not do a very good job, and he's lost significantly more resources than our blue Zerg. And now it looks like Hyun is ready for the counterattack, picking away at those creep tumors as well. And now Hope is trying to recollect himself, and it looks like this might be his last stand. Once he lost a lot of those roaches in the initial confrontation, it looks very difficult for him to come back, and now it's just a numbers game. Is Hyun going to be able to hold on here? We've also got a flank with Zerglings in the back poking away. But the Zerglings are falling very quickly. The Queens are trying to reinforce as well, but we've got too many roaches from Hyun, and Hope is not going to be able to hold on here. All his roaches have fallen, and the resources lost do tell the story of what's going on here. And it looks like there might be some diversionary tactics from Hope, but we also got constant streaming reinforcements from Hyun's side of the map. The roaches have been pulled off the line, but this is not going to work out for Hope. It looks like Hope's little bit of aggression at that 10-minute mark did not work out for him, and now Hyun is just going to rampage over his base. Unfortunately for Hope, his strategy did not work, and he's going to have to tap out. So Hyun is able to take game 1 with a mirror roach strategy. It looked like just this one confrontation here. Once that happened, even though the roach numbers were sort of similar, Hyun got a better surround around Hope's roaches, and then once those roaches fell, once he lost 3 or 4 roaches, and that just exponentially grows the amount of damage that you lose, and your survivability just decreases and plummets amazingly fast. And so unfortunately for Hope, he's going to tap out, lose game 1. We'll head over to game 2 and see if Hope's going to be able to bounce back. Maybe he'll employ a different strategy. Otherwise, this might be a very quick series. I'll see you guys over at game 2.